Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Right Time, a Wave Sports and Entertainment original presented by Prize Picks. My name is Bomani Jones. Thanks for listening wherever you get your podcast. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Subscribe, like, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. You only give us 4 stars. I'm inclined to believe you are a hater. It is DragonflyJonez Friday. Tyler Perrier, what's going on, man?
My guy, I appreciate you, man. It's cool. I got the whole little date designation. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling real distinguished now. You know?
No, we not putting just anybody in on Friday. Like Dominique, been a little busy. It's hard to get somebody in the spot to do like Dominique. But I'm glad you could join us, and you are doing the most Virginia thing ever, boy. Y'all be needing a hat to put on that anybody recognize, and you go into that ABA team y'all had for 45 minutes.
Hey. It's all we had, you know what I'm saying? And fall has kicked in. I figured I'd get a little festive on him, you know, hit him with the earth tones, you feel me? So yeah, man. But yeah, for sure, appreciate you having me on. You know, I feel like Fridays are for sure Dominique's day. So, you know, shout out to the GOAT there. But, you know, just want to give a shout out, you know, before we get kicked off to Mama Jones, who said I was her favorite guest.
Yo, she did.
Bro, yeah, that was a big deal for me, dog. I very much take it seriously when my friends' moms and parents appreciate me. You know,
it's important. It's important. Nah, she hit me after you all. She was like, "I really like that guy." And then when we got that question, you know, while we were doing the stuff while I was out, and I was like, "Well, let me just ask her." And I called, and she was like, "Huh." Well, she reiterated it. Like she was like, "This DragonflyJonez is fresh in mind. He's the one that he's the one that brought it down." So no, she's not the easiest audience. You know what I mean? So yeah. you want a serious prize with that one.
Yeah. Shout out to Mama Jones. I'm gonna try to keep the language clean, but sometimes, you know,
it happens.
The spirit of the MF word possesses you, and there's no other word that fits that airspace. It happens.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what else. Like I thought she would have known this by now. She's been around for a long time. You know what I'm saying? But these are times. Now I want to ask you this because I used to be on that Falcons narcotic. You used to root for the team that they now call the Commandos, but you decided to stop doing that. But they and I know you've been down this road before, but they might got a quarterback, dog. Like they might a quarter black, in fact.
A quarter black, yes.
Yeah. Have you considered,
bro? I'm so glad we're going to discuss this because maybe you can serve as like my de facto therapist on this because I ain't gonna lie, man. The fandom is calling me back, bro. Like, look, when I abandoned that fandom, I was like, yo, I'm not riding with Dan Snyder. Like the fan base was showing their ass clinging to that racist ass name, a name that even as a kid, when I was a fan, I was like, yo, this is some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like I was totally on board with the name change. I didn't give a fuck. I didn't give a darn, Miss Jones. But you know, I was totally on board with that. So and they've got a competent coaching staff in place now. Like I'm not a real big Dan Quinn guy. I think it's a 40-degree day. Like you know, you look at what he did with Seattle, and that's like, you know, thumbs up. That's a star on your resume. But then you look at the 28-3 in the Super Bowl, and it's like, hold on. You saying you look at the 28-3 in the Super Bowl as if he did not take the NFL's biggest bunch of losers to the Super Bowl in the first place? Yeah. I'm gonna tell you who I'm really high on that coaching staff is Kliff. I think Kliff has found his groove. I think that he needs to shift into that whole, you know, I'm a coordinator, I'm not a head coach, right? Like in 2 of the 3 games this season, they've gone for 35 plus. He's been calling incredible plays on the offensive end, right? So when I abandoned the Washington Redacteds at the time, it was like, bro, I'm not rooting for a team with this ownership. I'm not rooting for a team that's clinging so tightly to this terrible name. I'm not rooting for a team that just has no talent in place, that has no coaching in place. Why am I here? You know what I'm saying? And if you'd have told me years ago when I hopped off that bandwagon that, bro, in a few years, you're going to have a competent coaching staff in place, Dan Snyder's not going to be owning the team anymore. And as a matter of fact, one of your favorite basketball players of all time is going to be on the ownership board in Magic Johnson. And they are going to have a a dynamic black young quarterback. Because, you know, with Washington, bro, we are the franchise that Doug Williams built. You know what I'm saying? Like black quarterbacks mean something to us in a very special place. And, you know, the whole Chocolate City thing that DC once was before gentrification came in and kind of kicked the buildings down with that. And it's like, bro, like this would have been everything that I would have wanted. And now I'm at the point where it's like I'm guarded right now because I do not want to be hurt again. Because, you know what I'm saying, I'm still recovering from the RG3, era where we had a guy who had, bro, that RG3 rookie season. I was like,
amazing.
It was amazing. It was amazing. And the comparisons were like, oh, this is the new Michael Vick, which I thought was lazy. They're just saying, oh, this is a black mobile quarterback. Let's just compare him to another black mobile quarterback. No, bro, RG3 was looking like Aaron Rodgers that rookie year. You know what I'm saying? Like with the whole, with the pocket presence, with the whole, only throwing like 4 picks the whole season. Like, I was like, bro, we might be back up. And then incompetent coaching killed that. Injuries killed that. And then I was like, bro, I'm done with this. And a big part of why I hopped off the Washington Redactors bandwagon was I inherited that team, right? I no one in their right mind would have picked being a Washington fan, you know what I'm saying, and a New York Knicks fan. But I got those teams from my pops. My pops is a VA guy who moved to New York, which explains why I was a fan of both those teams. And the Knicks are doing great right now too. Like, it's like,
did you
bro,
go back to the Knicks? Because I knew you quit the Knicks. Did you go back?
Yeah. We'll put a pin in that. We'll circle back. but bro, and it was like, a big part of that was bonding with my pops, and my pops passed, and then there was a point where I was like, bro, what am I doing this for? I don't need to do this anymore. Shouts to my dad, love him to death, RIP to the OG. But it was like, bro, I am not suffering this alone now. Like, I can walk away from this. You know what I'm saying? And it's now it's like, bro, everything that I would have wanted this franchise to be, it is right now, minus the sustained success, but the future is bright. And I'm like, bro, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm at a crossroads. Where are you? Because you are firmly on the side of do not go back, do not relapse. So I want to know, I need some advice from you, my man, right now.
I have thoughts. Okay. So, as many people know, I used to be on that Atlanta Falcons narcotic, and then I decided I wouldn't go do that no more. And I'll be honest with you, it's one of the best decisions that I've ever made. But in the last couple of years, I have realized that I miss having a team to root for. I miss being a fan in that way. And luckily for me, just in time, my Detroit Lions started stepping up, and I wound up having like a new place. You remember I was thinking about rooting for the Jets, but that wouldn't have been.
I feel like Detroit is more culturally aligned with you, though. I think you made a good decision.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like what Dan Campbell's getting down. Like, Dan Campbell reminds me of a lot of people I grew up around. You know what I mean? That's a very particular archetype of Texas white dude. Yeah. It's hard to explain, but it reminds me of home, right? Like, I'm there.
He's a white Mike, but his name is Dan. You know what I mean?
Yes, he's a white Mike who dipped. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, he been around enough of us that he understands. Look, he was out here hiring all the brothers to be coordinators and all the, and assistant coaches. So like, I decided, okay, I could do that because I truly miss what it was to be a fan. And I was in Las Vegas this year for the Super Bowl, and I saw all those Lions fans who had bought tickets, because this happens every year. The team that's in the championship games, they buy tickets and then they just go anyway just to have the occasion. And they still seem to be so happy to be there. And I saw their enthusiasm for having believed in something and then getting some measure of payoff. And it kind of had me like, yeah, I'm glad that I got the Lions now in my life in the capacity in which I got the Lions in my life. I ain't never going to get back to the Falcons, man. That's just losers. Now, I feel like at this point, the Lions did a lot of losing. The Falcons just kind of feel like losers, right? And so I feel like for you, the problems that you had have been taken care of, right? Because you had actionable items. I didn't really have actionable items, okay? I just had a quarterback go to jail for fighting dogs, and I just had enough. I could never go back. You were like, if y'all would do this, if y'all could do this, if y'all could do this, I could still be here, but y'all won't do those things. It seems as though those things have been done in some measure, and so maybe y'all can start like kicking it again. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you should go for coffee. Right? Like, y'all go for coffee and you just kind of talk out what it is that's going on.
See
and
where
like,
we're at these points in our lives.
Ask them about Jaden. See if they got baby pictures. You know what I mean? See if they got, tell you about how things are going since it's new, and see if that old thing's still there. Like, I had quit the Braves at one point, but that old thing in me forever, right? Like, we ain't never gonna be close like we used to be. But that old thing is here in me with the Braves, and so I got to stick there. So maybe that's what it is for you. It ain't got to be what it was, but like I believe you deserve love, right? Like I think we all deserve love in some fashion, and maybe you need to start working your way like back into the love.
Yeah, it's totally different dynamics between me being a Washington fan and you being a former Atlanta fan, because like we were a 5-11 team. Like we knew by the first weekend in November we were cooked. You know what I'm saying? And the Falcons, they were on a different wave where y'all were winning 11, 12 games every year and then stinking it up in the playoffs, right? Like you had the biggest quarterback scandal in NFL history with Mike Vick, and then Matt Ryan steps in and he's killing it. He's a future MVP. You know what I mean? But with us, like, bro, we were just terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like we were like you, like I said, we were a 5-11, 6-10 team every year, and we would like, bro, we just got to try to like ruin someone in our division's postseason hopes. Like that was the only hope that we would cling to. But yeah, it's for sure a different dynamic because I think that it's the hope that kills you. You know what I mean? And Falcons had a lot of hope.
But that's the thing. Like they say, grief is the price you pay for love. You know what I mean? Like it's like this is like an analogous sort of situation. The thing that people don't understand about the Commandos is if you remove the Joe Gibbs era, there is really no difference between the Commandos and the Cardinals in terms of the history of their franchises. And the big difference is the Commandos, they wasn't just recent races. They just wasn't races with the name. They was all-time races. They was just like, we don't want to win no games. Why would we ever decide that we going to win some games? I'm just saying, I think for you, and you still live around them parts, you know what I'm saying? And I know you surrounded by other hurt people, right? Like I know they're not going all the way in on this team, right? Just give it a little dabble, because look, Jaden Daniels could be really, really good. Like I do worry about his size and health-wise, how he's going to do, but it is amazing how having a good quarterback reminds you of who the other good players are that you have on your team. Like Scary Terry, we've been know Scary Terry was good, but he was just out there running wind sprints. Y'all got that boy Tupac, busted shot me 5 times, real homies don't die, playing running back. That's who the running back is, right?
Yeah. It's bro, there's a part of me that's just so guarded right now because I've seen this script before. I don't want to get hurt again. Like the best offensive player of my lifetime as a Washington fan was RG3 his rookie season. We saw how that played out. The best defensive prospect, I'd say, of my life was Sean Taylor. RIP to him. We saw that played out. Right. So it's like, bro, it is like, I know that the heartbreak is coming, and I feel like, why do I need to volunteer for this again? That's where I'm at.
Well, if you don't want to do that, have you considered the Baltimore Ravens?
I feel like the Baltimore Ravens in this Virginia area, like they are kind of like the whole, us black folks root for the Ravens, even if they're not our team, right? Right? They've got Lamar, they had Ozzy running the show, you know what I'm saying? They're in black ass Baltimore. They're for sure like a city, a franchise that a lot of black folks in this area root for, even if they're not necessarily our team. You feel me?
Right. Well, also, like when your local team has a decided history of racismo, you very often pick the nearest blackest thing you can out of spite. And I think that is probably the case, like in large, like for example, all them Cowboys fans who exist in the now DMV area. That is a lot of spiting the local whites.
Yeah, for sure. Like I remember Jackie McMullen told a hilarious story about how when she was writing a book on the Celtics, and she went to a Celtics game and talked to a janitor working there and asked him, if he was a fan of the Celtics, and she said the black janitor looked him in the face and said, "Now why would I root for those white boys?" You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's kind of like the same dynamic there, where bro, like it's. Bro, the Cowboys and Washington are neck and neck in the DC area as far as fandom goes, for sure. It's that close.
I love that he looked at her like she asked him something preposterous. Not simply him being like, nah, I don't really root for them. He couldn't fathom why you would think he root for why would you think I rooted for the team in this building where I push a mop?
Right, like, yeah. Oh, incredible story there, but yeah, it's for sure a complicated history there, and I know a lot of people say complicated as a cop out, but it's legitimately a complicated, because like Washington is DC is so black. You know what I mean? And it's like you got a lot of black people there who want to root for the home team, but then there's so much racism attached to it, you know?
Yo, how many teams in the NFL truly have given their fans, like in what we would call recent memory, like in a consistent way, right? How many, like let's count the teams that have truly given their fans no reason to root for them, but they be doing it anyway, right? Like take the Raiders, for example. The Raiders have given their fans no reason to root for them, but the Raiders is different, man. The Raiders can leave a city and the city don't even be mad. They be like, fine, I can get there for $35 on Southwest. Don't you worry about it. I feel like they fans ain't giving them no reason. The Chargers, I would say that they've given their fans no reason to root for them, except, trick question, what fans? Like how the Cowboys at least keep it interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Broncos been hard on their people for like 10 years. Like since Peyton Manning got out of there, I feel like they've been hard on their people. The Chicago Bears, good googly moogly. Like that right there. I can't believe people still pay money to watch them.
It's just the Bears fandom. Well, you know, Chicago's the third biggest city in the nation, you know, so there's that. But bro, imagine going your whole life and just not seeing any good quarterbacking. Like, you know, Jay Cutler is the best quarterback that you've seen. And as far as the Raiders and the Chargers go, shouts to the Raiders, because, you know, every team says, you know, such and such nation. Like bro, there is no Tampa Bay Buccaneers nation. No, right. You know, no disrespect to the Buccaneers, but y'all fan base is firmly rooted in Florida. Raiders legitimately have a nation. They're one of the 3 or 4 teams that legitimately have a nation, right? So they don't care.
It's a nation that's lurking. It's a nation that's quietly lurking, because they've been so sorry that there's a whole generation that doesn't understand. Oh no, let the Raiders go 12-5 and 11-6 in back-to-back years. You're going to find out that malcontent over there, he's a big football fan. You just didn't know it.
Yeah, and something about Raiders fans is they embrace being the bad guys, right? Like they do not care about being liked. They embrace being the bad guys. And sometimes being the bad guys means you're going to go, you know, 3-14, but you know, that's what they signed up for. The Chargers, I feel like the Chargers' saving grace is probably their uniforms are just so clean.
They are dope.
Like that powder blue with the white helmet, that's an all-time great NFL uniform. But that's another team where I feel like a lot of people might have got okey doke during the like LaDainian and during the LaDainian years when they were, and Phillip Rivers years when they were in like 14-2 and just not, you know, doing anything in the playoffs. But yeah.
Yo, how about this? The Dolphins. Hey, man, remember when they fired Don? We were about 30 years removed from them firing Don Shula because the old man couldn't get over the hump. And they still looking at that same hump, trying to figure out if there's a way to get over it. Like, Don Shula dead, but I bet you Don Shula to the day he died was like, yeah, but the problem was me, huh?
Right. Eating his steaks in his steakhouse chain, like y'all thought I was the problem.
That's right.
But yeah. The Dolphins, they've just been a historically ungood franchise. Like ever since the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar years. You remember that dude, the running back they had, who leaned all the way into that and wore number 33 too.
Well, hold up. Do you remember though? Because his name actually was, for those who are too young to remember this, there's a running back whose name was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He went to UCLA. He wore number 33, and it was Karim Abdul-Jabbar. And the former Lou Alcindor sued that man and he could not use his own name. The back of his jersey, they had to switch it to Abdul because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar decided that he was the only Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And I need to know the particulars of how you gonna tell me I can't wear my own goddamn name.
That is so wild. Kareem is a different dude, man. That's what old Cap is a different guy, man. I mean, yeah, he's just.
You know what, though? I think Kareem money was a little tight then. Because remember, Kareem had all the stuff happen. His house got flooded. He lost all his records. I think somebody stole from him or whatever. But damn, dog, I always felt like that was a little more than was necessary.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, you know, when he retired, he was the greatest basketball player of all time. And he probably had like $500,000 in the bank. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That man was probably out here making substitute teacher money on those contracts. You know?
Salty. Adrian Dantley over in front of him, like drying his tears with his dollars that he'd been saving up so tight. You know, well, remember, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the trade from Milwaukee that sent him to the Lakers, one of the dudes that was in that trade was Junior Bridgman, and Junior Bridgman is now worth zillions of dollars. Zillions of dollars.
What's his story?
I think he did Wendy's franchising.
Okay, yeah, I have heard about that.
I think,
dude.
like, I forget, he bought one of these was trying to buy one of these publications, but he is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Hundreds.
Yeah. That quiet money, bro. Like who's that Byron dude?
Byron
who's
Allen.
like the Byron Allen. The dude who only has shows that come on at like 4 a.m. or like 1 p.m. while everyone's working, and is worth like $300 gazillion.
That's right. But he making that money the same way as everybody else. Exploiting his workers. there is nothing actually there's nothing moving about what Byron Allen is doing. He's very much running the same playbook as the white man when it comes to making this money off us.
Bro, it's legitimately low-key heartbreaking when you turn into a Byron Allen show. You're like, oh no, Vivica Fox out here scrambling.
Right.
No.
But what makes it so sad is, damn dog, you can make money off of this. But see, that's the content game. Like, the thing about the content game that gets lost is there's so many like publications, not publications, like outlets and stations and things that, like, I remember when I first really started getting in the game and I got an agent, and this was, around 2012, 2013, when all these new outlets were popping up, and it would be like, okay, well, this team just signed a deal with this cable company to broadcast their games, so they're going to have their own channel, but that channel's going to need content. And so how about we just come up with some stuff, and then everybody gets paid, because to justify the presence of the channel, you've got to have content. Anytime somebody calls it content, I'm like, oh, okay, so you just anything, huh? Right? These are people who clearly don't care about the details. But content is the equivalent of, y'all got something to eat, whatever y'all got, I'll take it.
Yeah. That's exactly what that is, because I don't know, it's just. I feel like there's a content bubble that is bursting at the moment where folks have to realize, bro, you just can't keep flooding folks with stuff. You got to give them stuff that they're invested in, stuff that's intriguing, stuff that's thought provoking. You have to have some substance behind the content, bro.
People do care. Oh, I just thought about something, by the way, as we're talking about all these teams that have not given their fans anything to root for. Forget about a team for a second. How about an entire city in a metropolitan area of over 20 million people? I've been living in New York for 7 years. They ain't gave those people nothing to be happy about, not once since I've been there. And like, living in New York make you get the Sunday ticket, because when you got two teams in the city and they in different conferences, they'll mess up your whole television situation.
Yeah. That's. I couldn't imagine living in New York and having to deal with the blackouts from both of those teams and such, because that's dog. Like you're getting the AFC and the NFC, like, yes, you're in the dark on that, literally.
Hey, and when we was kids, man, the Giants had a little something going. They've been cheeks, and not only have the Giants been cheeks lately, and I understand that people feel like this is a lot to say, but I think you'll feel me. They had them 2 Super Bowl runs, but even those years, they weren't really good. But outside of those 2 Super Bowl
and Phil
runs,
Simms, I'm
talking about even the recent ones, the Eli Manning joints, right?
Oh, the recent one, the Eli.
Yeah, you take out the Eli
we can talk about him too.
The last 25 years, man, y'all just been at best mediocre and at worst some bums. Y'all just got hot a couple times.
Yeah. As a Washington fan in my former life, like, they were just a super frustrating team. But they just kept pulling stuff out their butt, trying to watch the language from Bomani Jones. They just kept pulling stuff out their butt and winning Super Bowls, going 9-7 and such. It was just, yeah.
I've been saying
it's just a very confusing franchise.
Yeah, a lot more people need to consider quitting. But that's the problem is, I'm describing a league where everybody need to quit. Like the Arizona Cardinals, I ain't even need to bring them up. You know what I mean? Like, something what is known need not be said. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't even feel like I need to get there.
Bro, they are such a bland franchise too. Like, the name isn't cool. Like, you're representing the whole state of Arizona. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and your team name is the Cardinal, and you got like an angry cardinal on your helmet. Like, the best player in your franchise's history is Larry Fitzgerald. When shouts to Larry, incredible player. Baller. Yeah. Probably super underrated when we talk about all-time great wide receivers, but
they got they got another one now. They got one now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They got a receiver.
I mean, how do you feel on Kyler? I feel like he's week to week with me, bro. I feel like I mean, that's why I'm reluctant to kind of buy in, because I feel like Kyler's just so week to week with me, bro.
He's week to week, but I think he is very talented, and I think they ultimately made the right move when people are like they should tank it out for Caleb Williams, and I'm like, no, you don't need the best quarterback, you need a quarterback. And they have a quarterback. And I think that he qualifies as a quarterback, and we're going to see how it goes post-injury. He just has one very big problem that it really doesn't matter at that many positions, but it matters at this one, man. People do not like him. And at no point does it appear that his people do not like him has led him to say, maybe I should do some things a little bit differently. He's just like, yeah, sometimes that, and...
I mean, bro threw his offensive line under the bus as a quarterback. Like, why?
Strategy.
What are you doing?
Strategy.
What are you doing? Right? As a like 5'10", 180-pound quarterback, you're throwing your offensive line under the bus. What are you doing, dude?
Yes. Yeah. But I'm gonna throw it out there. This ain't gonna mean that much to you, but you gotta remember, he from Dallas, man. And like them dudes, just generally speaking, you ever notice anytime it come up on this show, man, we talk about somebody from Dallas, they always out here doing something weird. That's the thing you got to remember about Deion's sons, man. They from Dallas, dog. They're gonna be like that.
Now, see, I knew he was from Texas. I didn't know he was from Dallas, though.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's not from South Dallas, because I know a South Dallas dude when I see a South Dallas dude.
He's not a South Dallas dude.
I did not know he was from.
What you mean? The South Dallas dudes, boy, they all up there in that tenor range. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, bro, Larry Johnson, Kenyon Martin, like they're the same guy, bro. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yes. All right, we're going to come back with more with DragonflyJonez. I have something I want to run by him, so stick around with us. Hey, the NFL is back, which means you could turn $10 into $1,000 in a single game watching your favorite teams only on Prize Picks. You can make a Prize Picks lineup in as little as 60 seconds. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play 5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what make Prize Picks the #1 fantasy sports app. But rather than hearing it from me, let's talk to somebody who uses Prize Picks. Sean, how them picks been going for you?
You know what, Bo? I'm excited that the NFL is back, and so is Prize Picks, because, like I said last week, they have a special new promo this month. One Caleb Williams passing yard gets you 1 win on Prize Picks every week in September. That's right. Only 1 yard gets you an automatic win every weekend in football this September. 4 weeks of free W's. Don't miss out on this deal on Prize Picks, because it's gone when September ends. And don't forget to tune into the end of the show to hear my picks for the rest of the season. I will do my best to not lead you guys astray.
There you go. So make sure you go to prizepicks.com/Bomani and use code Bomani for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/Bomani. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Sean, school's officially back in session for kids. What's something you'd love to learn? I know as adults we tend to lose the desire to learn, but do you make time to learn new things as often as you'd like?
You know, for me, Bo, I'm always trying to learn, whether it's picking something new up in regards to this job, like a new editing tool, piece of production equipment, or also learning about news that I might have never seen before. And thanks to our If You Haven't Heard segment on our Monday episodes, like I kind of tend to learn something new every episode.
All right. That and therapy can help you reconnect with your sense of wonder, because your back to school era can come at any age. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Celebrate the progress you've already made. Visit BetterHelp.com/Bomani today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Bomani. If you're anything like me, your favorite time of the year and busiest is the start of football season. You might find yourself staying up late to watch the games, snacking more than you typically do, and not on the healthiest options, all while watching super intense games. In case you don't know, all of the game time stress and unhealthy habits can actually take a toll on your hair health in the long run, which is why now is the perfect time to start taking Nutrafol. Your hair is never just about your hair, and Nutrafol knows that. It could be the foods you're eating, the sleep you're not getting, or even following your favorite sports team in an intense season. It could be almost anything that has almost nothing to do with hair. That's why Nutrafol takes a whole body approach to hair health, addressing the problems inside to help hair grow on the outside. Address your root causes of hair thinning with Nutrafol, the hair growth routine that keeps up with your life. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter promo code Bomani. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code Bomani. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code Bomani. All right, everybody, my bad. I'm still thinking about what that one thing was that I wanted to run by Dragonfly Jones. I feel like it was related to football. I feel like it was perhaps related to something like collegiately football. Hey, you know how that goes. Have you, oh no, this is what I wanted to ask you about. I do remember. It was about football. We'll run this clip right fast from Sunday, where Antonio Pierce was talking about his team and somebody he felt like wasn't giving maximum effort.
The team just didn't seem to show up tonight.
No, they didn't. I think as the game went on, I don't think it was a team. I think there was definitely some individuals that made business decisions, and we'll make business decisions going forward as well.
All right. So have you seen the clips of this defensive back that Twitter has sleuthed was the one that was doing it?
Really? Because everyone thought it was Devontae. That's what everyone thought.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I saw people running some clip of some guy, and to be fair, he didn't say player, he said players, so maybe it was more than one person. Antonio Pierce does not strike me as the guy who says, in like the rest of our offices, where they say it in plural when they're really talking about one person, right? No, Antonio Pierce sounds like the sort of dude, if it was only one person, he would not just tell you that one person, he would tell that one person, and he would tell us who that one person was, right? So maybe it was more than one person.
That is a man who took the gun from Plaxico after he shot himself. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
Yeah, I don't think he's one to mince his words.
Hey man, let me tell you something. When Antonio worked at ESPN, we used to have him on radio shows or whatever. Hey man, that was not a dude here to play the game. You know what I mean? Like he would not tell you he thought your question was stupid because he didn't have to tell you. He just couldn't help it.
Yeah.
The feeling of stupidity would emanate. But they showed this one dude, he was a defensive back, and it definitely looked like he was making business decisions. But this is what it made me think about, was that in this day and age, when we talk about people making business decisions historically, I believe Deion Sanders is the first person to use that phrase and basically talk about a dude that saw no reason to get himself hurt in the course of a football game. A great example of a man making a business decision is Ricky Waters in his first game with the Eagles. For who, for what? And by the way,
I felt him 1,000,000%.
He was right. He was like, if you look at what that pass was in that particular era of football,
yeah, bro. Dudes do not need to catch hospital balls to prove how dedicated to their team they are.
And that game was over.
Ricky on that.
And that game was over. It was the it was his first game in that city. He said for what? He had to come up with a different. He should have said he lost it in the sun or whatever it was. But for what? But we have attributed business decision to guys who don't want to get hurt for what they consider to be no good reason. But it's a different day and age, and we are actually at the point in time where we used to joke about dudes shaving points, and we can't tell those jokes anymore, right? When somebody would mess up, you'd be like, yo, you might need to check his bank account or whatever it is. Like the phrase business decision, when we start talking about people or the idea that somebody's making a business decision, we might have to retire that one too, because my brain no longer goes to, I simply did not want to get hurt. My brain goes to, were you shaving points? And it's not a crazy question to ask.
Yeah, we might have to change that to making Vegas decisions, in the era that we're in now, because there was I forget the exact play, but ESPN Bet posted something on their TikTok.
Yes, it was about Devin Singletary. I want to say it was Devin Singletary, but whoever it was a running back who stopped before the 1 yard line so the clock would keep running.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's someone who kills the clock all the time on college football. Like, that's a strategy I use. Yes. But, Vegas isn't putting lines on my game.
ESPN Bet made it. ESPN Bet said, and the mistake was in the wording, and this is why being able to write is very important. My recollection of it was that the wording was something to the effect of the number hit the under because dude did this, or this dude did this, making it go under or something like that. But it was treated like a cause and effect, like he was doing it on purpose, as opposed to he stopped before scoring a touchdown, which prevented the possibility of hitting the over or whatever it was. But it was written in a way that did make it sound as though the dude did it on purpose. And it's like, yo, we got This is way more problematic and complex than people want to give it credit for. I think it was The Atlantic that ran this story about a study that's talking about the gambling. And one thing they talked about is the increase in domestic violence as a result of this, because these cats out, hey, man, we seeing this with Jamar Chase, man. Some people don't know how to act right when they money bad. Like, Jamar Chase is doing it just by being, like, bothered on the football field. But these cats out here losing their money, who knows what the problem is or everything else, and they doing, like, what cowards do and taking it out on the people that's closest to them.
That is, I mean, it sounds like a very predictable, causality from all of this. And, dog, that's just so terrible. Because the whole thing about gambling is, I hopped out there years ago before it became a big deal. I was like, I know sports. I can beat these guys setting the lines. And I found out very quickly
that's how they get rich.
Yeah. And I found out very quickly, no, these motherfuckers know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? I found out very quickly. And I have not gambled bro, I gamble maybe once or twice a year at the absolute most. Like I have to do the whole, when I go into my DraftKings account, I got to get an email sent to make sure it's me because I haven't been there in 6 months, right? Because I might want to, lay some money on the Bud Crawford fight or something, right? But yeah, bro, it's just, I don't know. I mean, there's a part of me that's like, what good is the commentary on it when it's very apparent that, sports leagues have made their bed and the gambling is here to stay. Like, it's nothing we can, scream to the higher ups about how they need to change things because it's not going anywhere. No, it's like
they made the deal. Yeah. They made the deal, right? Like with me in gambling, I pat myself on the back for self-awareness of my ego because what you said about yourself definitely describes me. I can outsmart this game, and that's why I don't do it. Because I'm sure I can outsmart this game, and they're sure I'm not. And they're the only ones that are in the business of doing this. Like, I talk about this with Vegas. Like in Vegas, I like to play blackjack. That's my game. I like to play it. And the way that you know what the setup is, for those of you who don't do this, if you go to Vegas and you play blackjack, and I think it applies to every other game, they will tell you every rule. They will tell you what your best strategy is, and they're telling you the truth. They're not even trying to get over on you. They would tell you if you should hit on 12. They'll tell you if you should stay on 16. They'll tell you if you should split. They'll tell you if you should double. They should tell you all those things. They will tell you all those things. And the fact that they're willing to give you hints should tell you just how stacked the deck is against you from winning. They know in blackjack they're going to win 52% of the time. And if you win some money, it's no big deal. Just stick around for a little while, and they're going to get their money right back. Like, what was that in Casino where the Chinese dude won $1 million and then they messed up his plane so he couldn't leave and then he left without $1 million because he gave it right back to the house?
The house always wins, bro. I'm going to tell you, when I hopped out there, it was like, I don't know, 2008, 2009, and I was online. I was like, let me lean into college because these lines are college football because these lines are so big. There's no way that Temple is going to lose by 29 to Miami. Let me take Temple in the points. Oh no, buddy, Miami will blow those doors off by like 35. The line setters knew exactly what they were doing. You're not outsmarting those people, dog.
It's not happening. And a lot of the line setting people have told me is really just set by the volume of bets, but a significant portion of the betting public also has a better idea than what you do. Like, you really got to put us some grind. The other part of it is I'm good friends with Nick Wright, and I be over at his house on them Sundays, and sometimes, man, it don't look fun. And he ain't even sweating the money. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow, man, this looks stressful.
Yeah. It's like I said, I tried it before it blew up, and I'm not going back, bro. Like, and that's, I think that's something interesting here, because I think a lot of people are going to go do the same thing I did, where, yeah, you think you can beat the bookies, you think you can beat the house, but you're going to learn very quickly. No, that's not the case. And I'm wondering how sustainable that is going to be after a lot of these people take their lumps and realize gambling isn't for them.
Yeah. Well, the problem is you just got to hope that, like, they realize it's not for them before gambling is like, oh, but it is, right? Like, you hope that you just hope that the first time somebody smoke a rock, it don't taste good, and they just decide that they don't want to go back down that road anymore, right? Like, damn, that cocaine made my nose bleed, as opposed to, guys, I partied all night.
Best night of my life.
No. By the way, at what point in your life did you realize when somebody was like, yo, we've been out all night, that they were actually using cocaine? I didn't realize that until I was like almost in my 40s.
Bro, we're of the same age, and we're both HBCU alums. So, our college experience, we were surrounded by Black folks. I did not realize how prevalent cocaine use was until I went and partied out like PWIs, like NC State and like UNC. Yeah. Like I remember one time, me and the homies, we went to my freshman year, we went to a party at North Carolina State, and some dudes just pulled out some cocaine, like put it on the coffee table, and we were like, bro, we got to go. It is time. We are not here for this.
I didn't think we were doing this anymore.
The thing is, like I said, of our generation, bro, we grew up in the fallout of like the crack epidemic.
Lynn bias.
Where
Lynn bias.
Yeah. Lynn bias was a big deal. And we grew up, bro, like if it ain't weed, it's crack. And it's that simple to us, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's not weed, it is crack. I don't care if it's cocaine, if it's pills, if it's lean, whatever. If it's not weed, it's crack, bro. And I don't know. That's something that I've still, carried close to me to this day. Like my only vices are, the bottle every now and then and the weed and the tree on a very, semi-regular occasion.
Yo,
but nah.
Did you watch the Eddie Murphy Guess Who's Coming to Dinner joint with, I think it was like Tessa Thompson and Jonah Hill and Nia Long? Well, there's a part
I remember it, but I never saw it.
Yeah, so I saw it, right? And there's a part where it was like bachelor party, whatever. For some reason, Eddie Murphy's hanging out with the white boys on their bachelor party joint, and somebody broke out some cocaine, and Eddie Murphy is looking down his nose at them for using the cocaine, and there's a scene of like, why are you judging them? They're just having a little fun on bachelor party night. Like, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm sorry. He's the bad guy here. I didn't. No. Yo, we had a game theory episode where we were talking about, I think it was our last one, but we talked about banning drug testing in sports. And there was a part that was written in, and it was very funny, and it was talking about cocaine in these very glorious terms. And before we would go out and I would do those essays, I would practice them with my coach Ed, and we would go through it. And after I got done reading it, I looked at him and I said, I'm asking you your opinion here, but doesn't this make it sound like I use cocaine? He said, yes, I was actually about to ask you about that. I'm like, okay, this needs to change.
Now we got to clear that up quick.
Yeah, this is not something I need anybody to think. Well, I look like everybody know I don't drink, but I'm out here using cocaine. But I did not realize just how a lot of people are still out here just like, what's a little cocaine between friends? And you just said what it was. Crack. Yeah.
Crack, bro. It's crack. Look. Look, I don't judge anyone for their vices. Life is rough. We got to get through it however we can. But as for me, nah, bro.
No, I just didn't know we were at a place where people were back to just talking about it. That was the part that I was surprised by. Like, apparently people was just sneaking around doing it in the back. I did not realize that we were back at a place. I guess Len Bias has been dead for 40 years now, so this don't mean nothing to him. Like, Len Bias is now like the Spanish flu. They're like, yo, the flu used to kill people, right? They don't think of the flu that way. No, not your boy.
Like when we would find out one of the homies we knew was on that powder, like it was like he died. It was like, bro, R.I.P. to him. He gone too soon. I didn't know his life went down this path. You know what I'm saying? So,
I gotta do something before he starts stealing from me.
Right. Yeah. Different day, because these kids be on whatever, dog, but
that's like on another day. This reminds me, you and I one day are going to need to do this. We may even get Spencer involved. Maybe I do this with Spencer. I don't know. But I need to come up with some episode at some point, or maybe some semi-regular thing where we just need to get together and take some notes and just talk about the Young Thug trial. That I no longer remember what the charges are. I don't know what case it is they're trying to build. I just know that every clip I see from the Young Thug trial, and have seen for, I guess, these 6 months or so that's been going on, is more ridiculous than the last.
I cannot believe Woody is a real person.
Nor can I.
I cannot believe that dude is a real person.
No, or this Q dude, this new dude, the Cuban, where they asked him about how he knew some woman, and he said it was because his homeboy's auntie used to bone her. I use bone. My mama don't want me to say bone, but I don't want to say the other word. But he said this on the stand, and the prosecutor's like, "Move to strike."
Said the other word on the stand?
Yes. Oh, sorry, Judge. They was dating. He cleaned it up after the fact. That same dude, I think, is on the stand like tweaking because he's going through withdrawal from the perks.
Dog, did you see that clip when the prosecutor asked one of the witnesses on the stand, where were you on such and such night? He said, I was with you. He said, well, you didn't say that in your previous testimony. So I ain't want nobody to know. They are wilding, bro. They are wilding. We the same treatment that the OJ case got with the documentary. You know what I'm saying? With the homeboy Vance and as Cochran, we need that for the Young Thug trial, bro.
Bruh, I've never bothered to look up the racial composition of this jury. I want if that jury has white people, I want the first interview with one of them after the trial. I want to find out what you think about this. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to find out what they think about this because they're not going to tell me what they think about the trial. They're going to tell me what they think about me, and they don't even know me. However, I would like to know what they think about what this whole look. The time that somebody came in, and I feel like they gave some pills to Young Thug at his table. It was the time his lawyer at the time looked at the judge and said, and I quote, "I'm sorry, Your Honor, but that's cap." And I was like. What did you say? Did you just say that this was cap in court? Like, what are we like? Why do you think that's the way to talk to the judge?
Atlanta's different, and I promise you that lawyer who said that's cap is a top-notch lawyer in that city because Young Thug's paper is long. So I guarantee you that is a guy at the top of his profession. Atlanta is different, bro.
Atlanta is the news in Atlanta, and I hate to be fair about this, but I remember my freshman year in college, we used to watch Jerry Springer at 4 o'clock, and then we go to dinner at 5 o'clock. But after Jerry Springer would go off, this was the peak Jerry Springer. This is Jerry's 97.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is when he just felt obligatory to watch Jerry Springer.
Yes.
And then it would go into the lead story for the news, and I never forget one day, and they were just like, shots were fired in a robbery at Chuck E. Cheese. And we were like, they tried to set it off at Chuck E. Cheese. However, I then went and did I think these are all in Atlanta, but I did went and did a Google to try to find the story of the time they tried to set it off at Chuck E. Cheese. And the time they tried to set it off at Chuck E. Cheese is far too narrow. Apparently, offsetting at Chuck E. Cheese is a not uncommon thing, which to me seems like a terrible idea because the only way to really jack them up at Chuck E. Cheese is to get them when the armored truck pull up. And I thought we all understood that that's what's the level above all Madden, right? Like the level above all Madden, where like you play a virtual reality Madden, and when you get hit on the screen, you get hit in real life. That's what trying to rob the armored truck is.
The Canton level right there. But yeah, the Go Jacket level. Yeah, wildin', bro. Atlanta's different, man.
Atlanta is. People have the line that Atlanta is not a real place. And it is a real place. Like, when Atlanta is all hit, look, man, changed the whole direction of my life. NABJ, that's Association of Black Journalists Convention. 1 year, in 2005, it was in Atlanta the same week as the TD Jakes Convention and the same week, the TD Jakes Women's Convention, and the same week as the Billboard Hip Hop and R&B Conference. And all those things going on in Atlanta at one time was like, oh, I got to do this job. That convention was cracking. It changed the direction of everything. When Atlanta's all hit, ain't nothing beating it. When Atlanta is on Atlanta, there's no explaining.
Yeah, it's a very unique city. When my homeboy John lived out there, I used to go out there and kick it with him. Bro, we would have days where we were doing day parties and night parties and brunches the next day and all that. And bro, like you can curate an experience in Atlanta where you don't have to see white people if you don't want to see white people. Like there were whole days where we were just surrounded by nothing but black folks, dog. Dude, no place in the world like it.
This is a true story. I'm gonna wrap on this. I'll never forget this. The year 2012, I went call Spencer in Atlanta, and we went to some bar, like some classically Spencer bar, like some medieval bar where everything is all wooded out everywhere. And I'm sitting there with him, and I looked at him, and it dawned on me. I think I said it at the time, but it dawned on me. I was like, I have never hung out with a white person in this city ever before. And I'm not a person who doesn't hang out with white people. I had never hung out with a white person in that city, except for one time I went to a dinner for lunch for a job. A dinner for a job I had. And we went to the King Center that day because the place I worked had gotten sued. And the white man that I worked for, who I thought was a very nice man, told me that up until that day, he didn't understand the need for a Martin Luther King holiday, which is to say that the white people in Atlanta are much different than the people in Atlanta that I had known.
Yeah.
And they live far away.
Shouts to Spencer. We kicked it with him when we were in Atlanta. He might have took us to the same spot. He highly recommended the mead, which is like medieval brew type beer with like honey and shit.
That sounds like it.
Was that this one? Yeah.
That sounds like it.
Yeah. So yeah.
What I love about that with Spencer's like me. I take my white people to black people places. Right? Because normally when you got white homies, you meet them in white spaces. And so you continue, no. You coming with me to these places. Oh, we went to the Spearmint Rhino. Nah, homie, you coming with me to Stars on Crenshaw and Rosecrans. like we got a reciprocity. And Spencer does that too. Spencer had me in some Atlanta I know nothing ever about. He integrating Atlanta all by himself.
Well, man, shouts to Spencer, man.
That is Tyler Perrier, a.k.a. Dragonfly Jones. Check him out on Jenkins and Jones on the Volume Network. I realized I did not shout that out at the beginning of the show. That is my apology on that. We will definitely put it in the description. Bro. I tell the homie John, what's up? I'm trying to holler at him while I'm here, but it gets hectic when I get here in this town. I got to go see them babies. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You got to, bro. Like, we kicked it with John. You know, John's got, a 2-year-old daughter, a 2-month-old son. I'm the son's godfather. First time I saw him, he smiled ear to ear. I just like melted on the inside.
He did.
But yeah, I'm for sure tell John to hit you, man. Y'all gotta let go.
Yeah. I talked to him before I got here. I just gotta get my time right. I would have had him come roll with us to the concert last night, except he got on the damn kids.
Yeah, family man for sure, man.
Yes.
Shouts to John, bro.
Yes, my bad. I appreciate you.
Always a pleasure hopping on with you, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. All right, Sean, you got prize picks for the people?
I sure do, Bo. We're going Sunday football. Obviously, it's still September, and you could sneak in one last Caleb Williams pick, 0.5 pass yards. He's going to get more than one pass yard. It's a guaranteed win, so you have to take that. Then I'm taking Justin Jefferson, not Jordan, for 0.5 rush reception touchdowns. And DJ Moore on the Bears. I think the Bears are going to have a decent amount of touchdowns against the Rams, so I'll take more than one touchdown there for my picks this Sunday.
All right, sounds good. And ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us here on The Right Time. We do this 3 times a week. That's Sean Yu. He handles everything behind the scenes. Thank you, sir. Also, hit the voicemail line, 323-596-7767. Ask me anything, 323-596-7767. Remember, follow The Right Time. Subscribe, like, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. You only give us 4 stars. I'm inclined to believe you are a hater. And we'll talk to you guys in a couple of days. Take it easy.